Alright, in this video, I had this queued up too in one of my watch for later videos. I just want to go in on the topic about this because it made me think about the Book of Kings and it made me think about Elijah when he went up against the prophets of Baal. Now I'm going to read on, I'm just going into this before I let this video play. And like the scripture say, man, there's no new thing under the sun. That which has been, that it shall be. Roughly paraphrasing. Because the same stuff people was doing back then, they doing it now, just under different names. So in the book of 1 Kings, chapter 18, and we'll start at verse 17, it says, And it came to pass when Ahab saw Elijah, that Ahab said unto him, Art thou he that troubleth Israel? And he said, I have not troubled Israel, but thou and thy father's house, and that ye have forsaken the commandments of Yahawah. Which is why people be in these conditions they be in, because they don't consider keeping the commandments. And they always talk about law was done away with, when the scriptures clearly say that Yahawah came to fulfill the law, not do away with it. But anyway, it says, And thou hast followed Balaam. Now therefore ascend and gather to me all Israel unto Mount Carmel, and the prophets of Baal 450, and the prophets of the groves 400, which eat at Jezebel's table. So Ahab sent unto all the children of Israel, and gathered the prophets together unto Mount Carmel. And Elijah came unto the people and said, How long halt ye between two opinions? If Yahawah be the Most High, follow him. But if Baal, then follow him. And the people answered him not a word. Then said Elijah unto the people, even I only remain a prophet of Yahawah, but Baal's prophets are 450 men. Let them therefore give us 2 bullocks, and let them choose 1 bullock for themselves, cut it in pieces, and lay it on wood, and put no fire under it. And I will address the other bullock, and lay it on the wood, and put no fire under it. And by fire, no, so like I skipped the verse. It says, And call ye on the name of your powers, and I will call on the name of the Lord Yahawah. Because you gotta know the name. How you gonna call on somebody you don't know his name? Which people still saying that you ain't gotta know the name, but that's foolishness. It says, And the power that answered by fire, let him be the Most High. And all the people answered and said, It is well spoken. Verse 25 says, And Elijah said unto the prophets of Baal, Choose you 1 bullock for yourselves, and dress it first, for ye are many, and call on the name of your powers, and put no fire on them. And they took the bullock which was given them, and they dressed it, and called on the name of Baal from morning until noon, saying, O Baal, hear us. But there was no voice, nor any that answered. And they leaped up upon the altar which was made. And it came to pass at noon that Elijah mocked them and said, Cry aloud, for he is a God. Either he is talking, or he is pursuing, or he is in a journey, or a pre-adventure, or he sleepeth and must be awakened. So you got, some embarrassing shit. You talking about your power to do this and do that, and he ain't even answering. And so reading on some more, it says, And they cried aloud and cut themselves. And that's what made me think about this right here. Well, this video, I should say, made me think about that scripture right there. Check this out. And that's these heathens, man. And then you have our people, they want to keep their customs. So, the Most High jack you up. It is what it is. But anyway, let me read on some more. It says, And they cried aloud and cut themselves after their manner with knives and lances. And that's exactly what they do in this video. Check this out. That's exactly what they doing, man. You can't make this up. See your knives in their hands. It say, Till the blood gushed out upon them. And it came to pass, when midday was past, and they prophesied until the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice, that there was neither voice nor any answer, nor any that regarded. And Yahawah is the Most High name. That's why some people can't get it. He don't want everybody to know his name. And sometimes he'll let people know his name just so he can condemn them. But then they won't fully believe and be like, well, dang, how can we know his name or whatever? When the scriptures clearly tell you that he's going to make his name known to the elect. Verse 30 it says, And Elijah said until all the people would come near unto me. And all the people came near unto him. And he repaired the altar of the Lord Yahawah that was broken down. And Elijah took 12 stones, according to the number of the tribes of the sons of Jacob, unto whom the word of the Lord Yahawah came, saying, Israel shall be thy name. Well, it's Jacob's name just was changed into Israel. If you're familiar with that story, I ain't gonna bring it all out, but you can go check it out. Verse 32, it says, and with the stones he built an altar in the name of the Lord Yahawah. In the name, it says, and he made a trench about the altar as great as would contain 2 measures of seed. And he put the wood in order, and cut the bullock in pieces, and laid him on the wood, and said, fill 4 barrels with water, and poured it on the burnt sacrifice and on the wood. And he said, do it a second time. And they did it a second time. He said, do it a third time. They did it a third time, and the water ran round about the altar, and he filled the trench also with water. Now, verse 36 said, and it came to pass at the time when the offering of the evening sacrifice that Elijah the prophet came near and said, Yahawah, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, let it be known this day that thou art a power in Israel, and that I am thy servant, and that I have done all these things at thy word, because when his own will is through the spirit of Yahawah. Now it says in verse 37, hear me, O Yahawah, hear me, that this people may know that thou art the Lord Yahawah, that thou hast turned their back again. Then the fire of the Lord Yahawah fell and consumed the burnt sacrifice and the wood and the stones and the dust, and licked up the water that was in the trench. When all the people saw it, they fell on their faces, and they said, Yahawah, he is the power. Yahawah, he is the power. And Elijah said unto them, take the prophets of Baal, let not one of them escape. And they took them, and Elijah brought them down to the brook Kishon, and slew them there. And I ain't gonna read the rest of this, but it just basically goes into like how these different people, they like to worship these other things that ain't even part of their heritage, like Buddhism, Islam, and fucking Hinduism. Well, motherfuckers be worshiping damn fucking stones and all type of weird ass shit people be getting into, man. But they don't ever want to return and serve the Yahawah Shah. But hey, he gonna make people return, and the ones that really don't, they just gonna get judged. So I just wanted to bring this out. Those who are edifying. Yahawah Shah. Shalom to the light.